Hey guys, I just want to show you out here on the water. We're jet skiing. We can see some beautiful mountains over there. You don't get to see those every day. It's usually cloudy out. This would probably be our last ride of the season because August means the cold weather starts to come in, and this will all be frozen in about 2 months. It was already pretty cold, that's why I'm wearing the wetsuit. Hey Tim. This isn't gonna be a long live. I'm just out here on the jet ski, wanting to show you guys how beautiful it is out. Sorry about the cough. I'm just got done stand up on the stand up jet ski, and that wears you out. But if you guys want, we can just cruise around the... No, I'm not using it while I'm driving, Tim. I got it in wake mode. I won't be driving with this. You put it in here, and connects up to your Bluetooth on the speakers. But I gotta get a mount that sits right up here. And for those who don't know, wake mode is 3 miles an hour. Isn't that crazy? The sun sits there 24 hours a day, right there. And then you got the mountains. Tim, I'm gonna go to the store this week and grab a chest mount for my GoPro, and then I can use it for while I'm riding the stand-up. That's gonna be a pretty cool video coming. Hey Munchie, we're out on the stand-up. Alan, we're not stand-up. We're on the sit-down, guys. We're on the sit-down, going wake speed, looking at the sunset, and then we got our mountains. I was just videoing a short, and I was like, I might as well just go do a quick live out here. I think I would go for the GoPro than the Insta360. Those things they look so fragile. And then I know a GoPro can take some hits. I just feel like that little camera piece would like crumble if I fell off the stand-up. Yes, they do. They're rarely. Usually there's clouds right there. It's rare you get to see them like that. Munchie, I got a story for you. So as you know, we had a fair, right? And I was being a parking attendant, right? So I probably was doing this parking since 8 a.m. to like 9 o'clock. And I'm out there, it's probably 8:30. And I had this white truck come in. It's pretty beat up. Dents are all over it. And the windshield's cracked. The tailgate is missing on it. I was like, okay, whatever. Right? He opens his car door. And in the state of Alaska, you cannot have tinted windows as much as he did. You couldn't even see through his car. But anyways, he had so really tinted windows, right? He opens his door, hands me the money for his parking. I take it, and what do I see in his cup holder? I'm gonna give you guys some time to guess what I saw in his cup holder. Something you're not supposed to have. It was open. He had an open container in his car. Multiples. Did you say a banana and lotion? I guess it's a guess. But no, he had an open container. And at first I noticed his speech was a little wonky. I was like, yeah, it was open, Tim. And I was like, oh, and then I seen the glass bottle. And then you know how his tinted windows are really tinted, but his tinted windows are already illegal. But he didn't have him on the front dashboard of his window, so when he parked, I went and looked through his window, and I made sure it was a beer bottle, right? So after I confirm it is, I pick up my phone and call the state troopers, and they gave me they gave him my license plate, and about 30 minutes later, after I called them, he left. And the police never came, but I think they got his license plate. I think they're looking for him. Well, Tim, we don't have local police. We just have state troopers because we have no police officers. They don't want to work. So the state troopers had to come in. Sorry about the camera shake. I'm shivering a little bit. It's kind of cold. Hey, Darren. You made it. It's late for you guys. This isn't going to be a long live stream. I'm just out here on the jet ski wanting to show you guys the mountains and then the sunset. Let's see over there. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a boat pulling some tubes, and they're doing some tubing. I was over there on that beach metal detecting. If I had my GoPro, I would have done a live, but I didn't. I need that chest mount. Hello, Vicus. Do you know how much people would pay to come see those mountains? The camera doesn't really do a good job with showing it, but this jet ski keeps turning. Oh, jet skis? Well, I tried them fishing. I don't like how small the legroom is because these like to tip. And then, do you know how many players I lost off this? Into this water? Fishing poles, sunglasses, pliers. Look how pretty it is out. Oh, the chest mount, yeah. I got to get one, but everything here is so expensive. They're like $40. And I can order them off GoPro. I have the GoPro Premium. But then they take so long. I would do live streams while I'm doing a stand-up, but the GoPros, if you put them in water, they lose connection to the live streaming. I guess I could do a live stream on the sit-down and fishing, as long as I don't fall in the water. I'm glad you're enjoying it. India, it's 9:41 p.m. here. Isn't it crazy that Hawaii did not get a tsunami? After that, I think it was an 8.8 earthquake. And then parts of Alaska were on tsunami watch too. I think California was. Oh, I'm not idling anymore, Tim. I'm on cruise control. Well, you know, you got to be prepared for tsunamis. They didn't know what's coming. You always got to be prepared. Even in the bays here in Alaska, we took some alerts too. I know parts of Hawaii evacuated, Tim. I think it was Waikiki, Honolulu. And you know what's crazy? I didn't feel the earthquake either. We usually feel like 3.0s. If it's a 3, if it's bigger than a 3 or a 2, you can feel it. And I didn't feel an 8.8. And it's right off Russia, so we're pretty close. Yep. Isn't it crazy this whole lake will be frozen in about a month? in about a week or two, it's gonna get down to like 40 degrees, 30, 40 degrees. We've only had summer for 2 months, guys. That's it. Go from shorts to snow pants. Nope, there is no sharks in fresh water. Although I may have had a thought when I was when I fell off the stand-up today. I was thinking there was a shark. You know, one of them chasing me. I had to swim in my jet ski pretty fast. Oh, you're a shark? Hey, Lordfish. You made it to the live. It's not going to be a long one. We're just here on the... You guys notice you can't see the mountains anymore? That's how rare it is. But we were... Oh, look at that. There's a little piece right there. We were looking at the mountains in the sunset. We're in America, Alaska. State is Alaska. Country, America. United States. Yeah. No shark would survive our extreme weather. You know, there was a bass up here before in Alaska. Not a sea bass, like a Florida bass. It was recorded, and it was dead. Someone bought it online and got it shipped up here. But it still counts as the record because that was the only bass ever found in Alaska. You want shark as a pet, huh? I know this one guy on YouTube has a swimming pool and he puts a shark in there that he found it from the ocean, and then when it gets big he puts it back. Man, I am shivering. I'm still wet from me falling off the stand-up. Oh man, the fishing up here is great. I don't know if... I think Lordfish was on my on my live when I was on the river. Hey Jenny. I think Lordfish was on my live during the what are they called? Grayling. We were fishing for grayling. Hey Wild Bill, you made it. This isn't gonna be a long live. I'm gonna go back to the cabin and eat a burger. If you guys wanted, I could probably come out tomorrow. It would either be in the morning or nighttime. Also, Tim, when I get that chest mount, I could do live stream is when I'm doing hockey. That'd be pretty cool. Hello there. Oh, guys, so the fair ended today, right? And shoot, what are those things called? I forget them every time. I want to say a wonton, but it's not a wonton. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyways, I went back there, and I was out here. I had to come out to the lake, right? So I couldn't stay at the fair today. So I got her phone number so she can make me more of those, because they don't have a store in town. But I also didn't realize she didn't know English. So I was over there talking to her for like a straight 5, yeah, empanadas. There you go, Tim. I was talking for a straight like 6 minutes in English, and she has no idea what I'm saying. and then she said translate 6 minutes later. I was like, what? This whole time? But now I can eat some empanadas during the winter time. They're really good, Wild Bill. I don't think I used to like them, but I'm addicted. So some of you guys may recognize this. Before, I think I was on Darren's channel. That little peak right there. A couple winters ago, we did a live right there. Ice fishing. There is no wake zone, Tim. I'm just out here. We don't have laws like that. I mean, you can put no wake buoys up, and people will follow them, but it's not enforced. There's no law. Only in the bays. In the more popular lakes, there's only a couple cabins out here. A wake zone is, so you see 3 miles an hour, that's 3 or 4 miles an hour is wake zone. So you're not allowed to have any throttle in a certain zone for safety, so you don't run into other boats. So if you ever go on, I think in like the States, you go on a boat launch or whatever on the bay, you're not allowed to have the throttle. Just cruise, wake. You know what's the sad part? I never got to go back and do the games for you guys. I could not find my tripod. I was looking all over the place. I think it fell out of my pocket somewhere, like at a fair or when I was walking around on the sidewalk. Lordfish, you don't have a jet ski? Or I don't know if you guys can use jet skis on oceans. Well, you know, they're fine if you're on a lake. I would want to try this. Go tubing on an ocean, you know, on those giant waves. That would be crazy. So, you know, knee boarders? A knee board is like a surfboard, but without the, the fin's on there. It's a lot smaller, and you put your knees on it, and then it's kind of like skiing where you hold the rope, and you knee board, right? But they make these boats called wake boats, and they're like $700,000, but they make like ocean waves. Truck stop, searching for lake creatures. Well, before I went live, I did think there was a megalodon trying to get me when I fell off the stand-up. I don't like being right out here in the middle when I fall off. It's usually the deeper part. Pretty popular down there, yeah. Well, this other cool thing I saw, I gotta get it on camera next time I see him. He usually is over there. So, you know, on some jet skis, it likes to pee, like a little water fountain on the back of it. This one doesn't do it, because when you're tubing, it's no fun for it to splash in your face. Anyways, he would hook that up, and he would put on like an Iron Man suit, right? And water would come out of his hands and his feet, and he could fly in the air through water. I gotta get it on video for you guys. He usually is at another lake, but I see I only seen him once this year, but if he comes back out, I'll get him on video for you guys. All the tourists come up, they'll say these hillsides look like bears laying down. It's more better when you can see from above, like in the airplane. Well, I'll debate on whether or not to go into town to get the chest mount for my GoPro, and we could do that video on the stand-up. I have not gone bear hunting yet. I think it's bear season right now. I mainly do moose. they say Alaska is home to all the grizzlies and black bears, right? I have yet to see a bear in Alaska, and I'm in the woods all the time. But I go through Canada because, you know, up in the border, that's all woodsy, up by the Yukon River. That's all woodsy up there. And I saw a bear in the tree while we're driving, and it was just looking at us because I was at one of those way stops, and it was just sitting up there looking at me. It was a black bear. You don't worry about the black bears. You can handle those. They don't really like to mess with you. But if you see a grizzly bear, you're in some trouble. Alaska's the home of the grizzlies. Hey, Ewos, we are not fishing tonight. We're just going for a quick jet ski ride. But I can tell you the fish that are in here. We got some lake trout, silver salmon. What else is in here? Grayling. That's about it. 3-legged bears walking around town the last few weeks. Yeah, it's nice to take a cruise sometimes. If you scroll back to the beginning of the live, we've seen some mountains. Pretty rare to see on this lake, but you can see it sometimes. Well, Darren, bear traps are illegal. They've been illegal since, I believe, 1970, 80, around that time frame. I still have one. I've never used it. It just hangs up in the garage. A little cool antique you can look at. And they're huge. But big animals like that wouldn't lose their feet in traps. They'll just walk around with it, unless if they gnaw their foot off. I was at a cabin and a bear was watching us, and we didn't know it was. We checked out. We were scared. Yeah. One of the guys I know, he had a cabin out, I'm gonna say 150 miles, 150 to 100 miles from a road. And we have a cabin also next to him. And this was probably at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And he was hearing noise downstairs because he has a 2-story cabin. He went down his ladder and saw a black bear eating his food that he left out on the table. It somehow opened the door and got into his food. But, oh shoot, dogs are barking. As I told you guys a couple minutes ago, black bears don't fight you. They're pretty scared animals. But yeah, he chased after it, ran off. He had a dog too that ran after it. So he thought the dog wouldn't come back because it's out in the middle of the woods and never been there. And it came back. But if that was a grizzly, it would have been a whole different story. Could be, but trapping bear isn't legal. We have beaver traps in the area. Yep. I don't think a beaver trap would catch a bear, though. Pretty small traps for a bare foot or an arm. Look at the sunset, guys. Yeah, for beaver traps we use conifers, but a bare hand or foot couldn't. It's too big for that. Is it? In Oregon, it's illegal to trap beavers. Huh. I know. I'm sure there's poachers here, Tim. Speaking of that, guys, I had a marten to go get tanned, and I forgot about it, and the guy never called me. I'm gonna call him this week. He's probably keeping it. I had some bad luck with taxidermies. A couple years ago, I had probably 12 marten, and I'm gonna say 2 ermine. And you know, a marten's like worth $120 each, right? And I paid him to tan and skin my marten. The skinning is like, I think he only charged like $6. That's why I went to him, and it was cheap. And then tanning was like $10. And a tan marten's worth like $120, right? So I'm waiting for my stuff to get done, and look at that. You guys see that? It was a bird just dove for a fish. All right, we'll see you, Lord Fish. But I'm waiting for these marten to get out of the taxidermy. And I'm driving down the road one day, and I see black smoke all over the highway. The taxidermy was on fire, and everything in it burned. There was tourists who paid like $10,000 to come up here for moose hunting, black bear hunting. Lots of meat gone. I had at least $1,500 worth of marten over there. And the sad part is I never got paid back, and no one got paid back, and you didn't have insurance. So, everyone lost out on that. I was a pretty bummer that day. Man, it's starting to get cold. Let's see what the temperature is. 50 degrees it is. And I'm still wet. I might go back on the stand-up later, though. This would probably be the last ride of the season this week. All right, let's go for another... Let's go to 42 minutes, so 3 minutes left and we'll call it live. Kodiak? No, we are not in Kodiak. Fairbanks. Hey, Johnny Blaze. Yeah, he could have paid some people. Like, I think he started the fire on purpose. Who starts a wood stove fire, leaves the door open on it, and leaves the building? Lazarus might know what I'm talking about. Of the fur tannery that burned down in Fairbanks. But I think he started the fire. Well, Tim, he had so much work to do. He had so much work to do. Like, he was backed up for years, and I think he was just done for the work and didn't want to do it anymore. But you know, all those chemicals at a taxidermy, they're really bad for you to breathe in. After that fire, you could smell it in the trees and the buildings next door. And I'm surprised the train depot didn't catch fire, because those right next to it, and you know, they have all that coal right there. But yeah, if you guys want me to come back out tomorrow, I probably will, if I'm still here. Just let me know in my community chat. But thanks for coming on, Tim, Lazarus, Lordfish, Johnny Blaze, Darren, Wild Bill, E, Truck Stop, and everybody who was not in the chat. Thank you guys. We'll see you later.